All right, I just started recording. I do want to talk about. We didn't really touch on it in the last video, and I didn't actually record my voice. I'm a little pissed off about it, but there is still an elephant in the room I want to address. Like Halo's player base when the game first came out was what 250,000 or something like that concurrent players. Like the game was new, so like that's like that's it's
250,000? That's it?
No, well, it's actually a lot. It's actually a pretty high number. I know that's concurrent. There's been over 2.5 million people that have played. Like that's just.
But that's still not that high. 2.5 million?
Yeah, but
think about the amount of people on YouTube that get views.
Well, it went down to like 30,000, and that's what the Steam numbers are. But it's like they can't be right though, because it's like to me, what does Vanguard have? I mean, like 60,000 or something like that. I mean, and that game sucks. But the difference is that.
God.
But the difference is, hold up, you're saying, oh my God, but the difference is because Halo's not on like PlayStation. And PlayStation versus Xbox.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest. I think the reason is because Halo's fucking hard. I think it is, and I think a COD player wouldn't like it. Well, I mean, you're a COD player, so you should tell me. But I think it's different.
What I would say is. How to word it. You know what I guess is interesting? Remember when the game first came out, and I mean this actually makes sense with what I just said. For me, I thought the game was very easy. I actually think maybe I don't know what you thought about the game, but for me, when the game first came out, I was like, man, people suck. And I hadn't even like really been playing Halo. I know how to play Halo. I'm not stupid. Like, I've been playing long enough. I can pick it up even though it was new Halo and do decent, right? Like I wasn't great. I wasn't. Yeah, but people were really bad. And people like me were just run and train. And as people left, that it got harder to play, so I had to get better. I'm much better now than I was when the game obviously first came out, but I remember it was so easy then because I think there's a lot of people that were new. And I draw so many parallels with like Gears of War and Halo because they're similar in that you really have to like fights are longer, right? Like there's the time to kill is longer. It's not like COD where you only have to be right for like a millisecond on somebody's head, right? No, you have to be right the whole duration of the fight, and it's much like chaining together doubles and triples is much harder, or it takes longer. You just have to have a better handle of the game than you do in like COD, right, to get the same outcome. So I think that scared a lot of people off. But I guess it's still, and I understand it's not on PlayStation, so that's why but it's still on PC. But I see that number on Steam, and that's supposed to take into account Xbox players, I believe, but it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, it's way too low. And it's like, I understand that there's not a lot of maps, and all that stuff. There's not Forge, campaign's not complete, and all that stuff, but it's like, as somebody that likes the game, I don't see that as a reason to just not play it at all. It's still, like, the most played game for me, for the past few months. I don't know, I don't know why it's fallen off so hard. Maybe something like you just said.
I don't know what I said.
Well, they weren't able to hack it or something like that.
Oh, that's part of it, and it's a lot not like the... Well, actually, people don't care about that. I would say people are comparing it, but I don't know if that's the thing. I think people are so used to Call of Duty, they just went back to it. I guess, clearly.
Yeah, I mean, it's just... I don't get that either, because, like, COD, when you get a triple kill or a quad or a penta or something like that, the accolades Halo does such a good job of like making it feel special when you do a good play like that, and COD doesn't do that. Halo to me is just so much more fulfilling. I would rather be better at Halo than I would at COD. I'd rather be a world-class Halo player than a COD player. Straight up, I would think I'm a better player.
More.
It
Why?
does mean
because
more.
There's gonna be another game that's coming out next year. It's Call of Duty, and then you're only gonna be good at that game that you just played. Now you gotta relearn everything again. Maybe. I don't know if that's probably part of it.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I just think like the concept of like being good at Halo requires more consistency. More consistency, right? Because you have to be right for longer, right? Every fight takes a few seconds.
It's
not
gonna lie.
Yeah, it is. No, I have to like, and it's crazy too. Like on COD, I don't really have to like warm up per se. But like I can I'll die a couple times in like domination. Okay, now I'm going. Now I'm chaining kills together and stuff like that. It's like Halo. It's like I can suck the first 2 games, and I play all the time. I play like almost every day, and I can suck the first few games like really bad. It's like, oh man, I gotta warm up to this game. I have to get on this wave, which is something that normally doesn't happen for me in other games. So yeah, I don't know. It requires, and it's not the hardest game in the world. I don't think it's harder than like Gears. I don't know. Maybe you think differently. I think Gears is still like when you're clicking on Gears, when you're sweating on Gears, like that takes a lot of.
Wait, you think it's harder than Gears? Or
No, I think Gears is harder. I do.
Gears is so.
Yeah,
oh
Gears is
God.
incredible. I think.
Oh my fucking God, dude! The amount of I was playing it again, just remember. See, for some reason, the amount of like adrenaline going through me when I'm playing that is like so much higher than any other game that I ever played. Like you trying to avoid just getting shotguns.
It's such a game of absolutes because I mean, a wrong mistake is you're completely dead. You're not gonna just take damage. You're completely dead.
And then your team suffers. Like it goes back and forth. Like one death means.
It's
so
a chain reaction.
It means so much.
Yep.
The same thing with Halo.
Yeah,
we're not
it
working
definitely
together.
does. Definitely
If
does.
one person, yeah, it's gonna. There's a rhythm that you got to get to. Halo is about getting into a flow. Gears.
I would say
isn't so
Gears
much
as well.
about
When you're moving and when you're wall bouncing and stuff, you definitely are. You know, when you hit flow state and stuff, and you're untouchable. I mean, you can make a big impact in that game.
True, but if you're only in flow, I mean, you can make up for a lot. But I think when people are getting really good, one person cannot just like it's. You don't want to be put in that position where you're getting into these 1v4s. Like that's supposed to be the last case scenario for the best person. That's kind of what I like about it. It's always about minimizing
Downside.
downside. Yeah, that game is all about that. And you practice worst case scenarios, but it's not about that. You don't want to find yourself in those positions. I think that's kind of what it's about. It was just so cool. I don't know. See, it matters more to survive. That's why I get it. Halo, it's like you're guaranteed to die sometimes. Like I cannot just survive the entire game in Halo. I think you have to die. It's just like it's that useful.
And Gears are kind of like that too, maybe to a lesser extent, but in ranked, like there are strategic deaths, right? Like if I have to go get the ball in oddball or something like that, or in strongholds and stuff like that, if I have to cap something like I'm going in knowing that I'm like gonna be at a numbers disadvantage, but if I can just kill one guy, you know, maybe I've done my part in that scenario. You know? So there are like strategic deaths for sure, and I see it in ranked. I was just watching the HCS for Halo. There are strategic deaths. You could see the way they were playing. I mean, there was situations that they knew they couldn't get out of, but they were necessary. Yeah, I guess maybe the game was a little too complicated for the COD fanboys. I guess that's the deal.
I think in general, just games are just falling off. Like I already said, but people are just desperate for something new, and I think the Halo did kind of ring that bell, but.
I still think it's fun. I still don't get it. I mean, I know what's happening. I just don't.
Well, people will revisit it once Forge comes out. I just think it's one of those games people are just waiting, kind of just leaving it on their hard drive once they find out more information.
I think it's a lot of the, but I do think it's impatience and people not giving it a fair shot, right? Because you and me love Gears, and it's like, man, like how do people like not like they don't just like hate it, you know, they like despise it. People people just don't like it if they're not like into it. And it's like but you know those people haven't given it a fair shot, right? And it's kind of the thing with Halo. It's like
right.
And it's kind of the thing with Halo. It's like I know that if they gave it like a few weeks and like they broke it down, understood how to like engage in fights and stuff, like they would like the game. Like it's a way better game than COD. I'm like, that's from somebody like I've played like every game. Like you know what I mean? Like it's like I've played a lot of games. I know like if you put enough time to something, you're gonna get. Especially in Halo's case, it's a great game. I'm biased, but you know, I can tell that they haven't given it effort, and I think that irritates me a little bit. But ultimately, I think they'll come back. I think when there's more content.
An ally has captured a zone. The enemy is capturing a zone.
Nearing total control.
Zone captured. The enemy is capturing a zone. Ground vehicle requisitioned. Ordnance drop incoming. The enemy has seized a zone.
Your enemy is nearing total control. Your enemy is nearing total control. They can't stop you.
Capturing. It's our lucky day. Ordnance drop inbound. Zone lost. They're coming for this zone. The enemy is capturing a zone. The enemy has seized a zone. An ally's capturing a zone.
Keep the streak alive.
A friendly's capping a zone. Nothing satisfies like a 3-round burst. Zone captured. Low on ammo.
Your enemy is nearing total control. Banshee inbound.
The enemy is capturing a zone. It's our lucky day. Ordnance drop inbound.
Your enemy is nearing total control. Too little too late, Spartan. Match lost.